So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Director of Marketing Communications for CMLS, Nicole Aguilar, and Kim Pryor, Vice President of Marketing for FBS.
Hi.
Ladies.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer, for that great introduction. You know, it's really awesome to be here and honored to be on stage in front of everyone today. I'm thankful that we have the opportunity to speak today instead of yesterday, because I think all of the conversations yesterday really teed up this moment for Nicole and I. From Danae to Mary Jo to Shannon Paulson to David Sharon, the theme was really clear about the MLS, both at the collective, national level, and at the local level, finding their voice and having a value proposition. I think David Sharon went to the extent of using the term define and defend your value. So today we're here to talk about value proposition, and Nicole and I are pretty excited to do that. We have 15 minutes up here, and anyone who has done any marketing or worked around value proposition knows that in 15 minutes we can barely scratch the surface. So we're hoping in those 15 minutes that we can give you just a few pearls for your CMLS 2018 purse and some good takeaways. But before we get started, we're going to make a little public service announcement. We have this slide up that I think everybody can see at this point. What does everybody see on that slide? I'm hearing pretty much dogs, right?
Dogs.
So I want to point one thing out. You know, if you take a look at all of those fluffy, cute little critters there, they are different shapes, different sizes, different breeds, different ages, but the one common thread that they have together is they are all part of the canine family. They are all roll up to the highest level of being canines. I want to draw the metaphor that we are all in this room different geographies, different shapes, different sizes, different leadership structures, but the one common thread that we have is that we are all part of the MLS collective. And we should take a look at the value that we have as individuals in that group, as well as the high-level value we have as that group, and take a crack at this value proposition thing based on all of that. So I want to start off really quickly just defining value proposition. I'm sure that everybody has an interpretation of it. I'm sure everybody has heard that before. But truly, what is a value proposition? If you are in a place where your MLS does not have a value proposition clearly stated, where would you even begin? A value proposition is literally a sentence, a few sentences, or a collection of words that describe what is special, what is unique, what is valuable, different about your MLS. You can see different companies use it in different ways. Some folks will use a powerful collection of words that are not in a sentence. Other folks will use one sentence. Some will use two. Just to breathe life into that a little bit, in case it sounds a little bit intangible or esoteric, I popped up a slide here regarding Apple and how they use value proposition and key power words throughout their messaging that tell the story that they want the customer to hear. You could take a look at this and you can say, I don't see any facts. I don't see number one. I don't see the most utilized. I don't see this. There's two camps for value proposition when you're thinking about it. There is fact and there is feeling. You can take a swipe and do both in your value proposition and talk about some facts, the best, the biggest, number one, the most. And then there's the feeling component. And I would encourage you to do some digging around feeling, because that's what your members do every day. There's fact to what they do, absolutely, but they are in the business of fulfilling the American dream with their customers. There's a lot of feeling and emotion around that you can tap into around the value your MLS brings. So if you look at Apple, they absolutely took the feeling-oriented approach. You see words there, sorry, my vision isn't so good and I didn't memorize them all, but you see beautiful, magical, absolutely simple, effortless, cinematic. Those are not facts that are being stated about we're number one, we're the best, everybody uses an iPhone, but that's meant to conjure an emotion. That sets the expectation of what you, as an Apple customer, can expect when you use an Apple product. You'll have a magical, beautiful, seamless, awesome, cinematic experience. It creates a feeling. Typically, the more competitive the space that you're in a technology space or a software space, you're going to tap into feeling, because getting into a battle over features sometimes causes people to go blind. So I wanted to share that example. And then I have a funny example, but I want to ask a question. And what happens at CMLS stays at CMLS. So who has Candy Crush on their phone? Come on now. 5 people? All right.
It has to be more than that.
It has to be more of you, but bottom line is, I have Candy Crush on my phone, and it is my de facto, when I'm super stressed out, I grab Candy Crush and I play, and it takes my mind off of reality, and I get into this silly little game. So I'm at the airport the other day, my flight is delayed, Delta's entire communication system goes down, I grab my phone, and I open Candy Crush, and the first thing that I see, and it never hit me before, is they have a value proposition right when you open the app. And the one that I saw that stood out to me was, where is it here? Swipe your stress away. And I thought, that's a great value proposition. It's telling the customer what they can expect. So I backed out and went back in, and then it said, swipe, de-stress, have fun. So I wanted to give you some real-life examples of how value proposition brings an expectation to life, brings a brand promise to life, and sets the expectation for the customer in that seat of what they're going to get from that product. Those are obviously products. We're in the MLS business. What is Kim talking about? I just wanted to ground that in reality for you, and then have my newfound friend and associate here, yes, Nicole, share a little bit more about what this means at the MLS level, both at the national aggregate and then local for you.
Yes, thank you, Kim. That was a great example of a great value proposition. When I get to the airport, I'm going to download Candy Crush. We have a picture of CMLS makingthemarketwork.org website up on the screen. Inspiration right from our industry to help us define our value as an MLS. So it says right up at front, if you don't tell your story, somebody else will. That's a fact. They will. And you can't allow that, because we know our MLS and our staff knows our MLS better than anybody else does, right? And also, we have a responsibility to define what our value proposition is and to live that out every day in everything that we do. So if you look here, there's some examples of marketing pieces that are on the makingthemarketwork.org website. These are pieces that were submitted by MLSs throughout the country. Check out the website. CMLS offers some great resources, and it'll help you start the ball rolling, spark some ideas, some inspiration. CMLS, they define the value of the MLS as a whole using 3 words. Those 3 words are confidence, community, and connections. So you can read more about those when you check out their website. Kim and I discussed 3 key steps that you need to take in order to define your value proposition and do so in a great way.
And get it out there. Because
and get it out there.
It's not going to do anything for you if you create it. The key is sharing that with everyone else.
Exactly. So where do you start? How do you go about doing this? So Kim mentioned earlier, find your why. Why are you better? How's your MLS different? How are you better than the competitors? But how do you find that out? Engage your staff, right? So get your marketing team involved, but also you want to engage individuals from other departments. You know, loop in people from your customer care team or your trainers. These are the people that are out there every day. They're in front of your members. They're listening to your members. They know what your members want. So form your group, huddle around a table, grab a whiteboard, and just start spitting out terms, phrases. Create a long list and then narrow it down until you have 3 phases, 2 or 3 terms that you feel really explain the value of your MLS, right? So once you have that, expand on it a little bit more. Create some taglines around those words. Sprinkle in some local flavor if you can. So here's an example. We're from California, right? California is super crowded, and we always have traffic. It takes us, what, a half an hour to go a half a mile most of the time? So in a lot of our marketing materials, you know, we'll say things like, you know, CMLS is pushing you along even though you're stuck on the 5 freeway today. You know, we're here supporting you. We got your back. So sprinkle in local flavor whenever you could do so. So let me talk to you about the 3 terms that we chose to define our MLS. The first term was broker-centric. Everything we do, every decision we make is for the betterment of our brokerage community. We have dedicated broker resources on our website. We provide brokers with specific presentations and documents and videos that will help them in their business. We have a dedicated broker resources team on staff, and they provide a sort of white glove service to our brokers. Our brokers can choose if they want to share their data. It's up to them. They could choose if they want to syndicate out, and they could choose what channels they want to syndicate out to. So that was our first term. Our second term is comprehensive. We're the nation's largest MLS. We have 38 fully participating AORs under our umbrella and close to 100,000 members, and we're pretty proud of that. But more importantly, that's a huge value to the agents and brokers in our community. And so we make sure that we spread that news and the value of that, the value that's behind that. And third, we're progressive. You know, the real estate landscape is changing constantly. So we're working hard every day to make sure we're pushing our MLS forward. And we're doing what we can to stay up and give our members what they deserve. We have a wide array of products and services, and that's because we have a large membership, and it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to products and services. And then my CEO, Art Carter, and the rest of our leadership team, they're involved in numerous MLS initiatives that are forward-moving. MLS Roundtable, RESO, Cove, just to name a few of those. So once you have defined your key terms, I'm going to talk a little bit about how do you go about sharing those, right?
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second just because I have something to add.
Go right ahead.
I think it's awesome, and I think that explanation is great. And digging down deep to really understand those key things and really have them connect and align with them resonating with your membership is so important. And you did a beautiful job of connecting the dots at CRMLS to who we are and why that matters to our members. So I think that's a great tip to take away is if you're building value proposition, you're thinking of either keywords or key phrases, think what we do, how does that positively impact the life of the realtor, and draw those things back. Again, remember, value proposition is more about making a promise and setting an expectation, and that's exactly what you did. I took a quick note yesterday. It was Sheila Dobson on stage, and it struck me so hard that just it flew right off of her tongue. She said, "I don't run an MLS. I help make the homeownership dream come true for many people." That is the most beautiful, feeling-oriented value proposition I heard all week. So it struck me, and I wrote it down, and I wanted to share just something as simple as that. We're so much more than an MLS. We help the dream of homeownership come true, and then pepper in some ways and words on how you do that. So I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I just wanted to share that prop for Sheila, too.
No, thanks for sharing that piece. So the next step is to share. Now you have defined your value proposition. Well, how are you going to share it? Sprinkle it into everything you do that's forward-facing. Your marketing materials, your printed materials, your website, your blog, your email communications, anything you could think of. Give some tips or pointers to the teams within, so your training team, your customer care department. Come up with a phone script when members are on hold. You know, let them hear about what your value proposition is. Just sprinkle it in whenever you can. Get social, period. Everybody's on social media. That's where people are at, and you could do it for free, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You know, take on a software platform to help you, like Hootsuite. So Hootsuite, you just add in all of your social accounts. You can schedule posts. You can monitor comments and messaging and track your analytics that way. There's a number of different programs, but we tend to use Hootsuite. We prefer that one. Next, get personal. You know, people relate to people more than anything else, right? So have someone, either yourself or someone on your team, grab a smartphone, grab a video camera, walk around the office, have, you know, people in your different departments introduce themselves and talk about how they provide value to the membership. And then share those videos online. Embed them in your blog post or embed them in your email communications. Be consistent. Consistency always trumps frequency. You don't have to post every single day, but you just want to make sure you're consistent, and you want to make sure that every message conveys the value. Every single message conveys the value. And so I think, do you have any other ideas in regards to sharing?
I do. I mean, I think when we say social media, it probably sends a shiver down people's spine because A, it's a big undertaking. B, not everybody has a marketing communication staff to take on creating, building, and measuring a social media plan. You know, take a walk around your office. I guarantee all of us, there's somebody in the office that loves to be on social media. We may love it, or it may really annoy us that every time we walk by their desk, they're posting something on Facebook or doing something on Instagram. Think about the fact that that creates joy for them. Offer them the opportunity to do that for your MLS. and create joy for the employee, but also in return, you're getting something really important done at your level. So think outside of how you normally think and be extremely resourceful. I mean, although I work for a very large technology vendor, it's still, I'm tasked to be resourceful and creative every day. So when I think about the new things that we can do, there's always resource issues, and we manage those resource issues. So do that. I have share economy down here on one of these slides. What's a share economy? I'm sure everybody in every single market has agents that are out there that love to vlog. They like to blog. They take videos. They're neighborhood experts. They do tastings at places. Contact those agents and say, can I share your content on my Facebook page so you get more eyeballs and I get more eyeballs? It's a win-win. We all have them in every single market. There are agents that really stand out and love to be present. You, on your Facebook page or Instagram page, you can absolutely create even more of a footprint for them by sharing their content, and in return, you're adding valuable content to your Facebook page. So don't be intimidated by it. Look at it as a journey and an exploration. Start small, start simple, and next we can talk about measuring.
Absolutely.
Key to any action, for me and you, we talked about this, is measuring the success of something. Marketing in and of itself can be pretty nebulous and hard to measure, but social media and posting and getting the word out, it is pretty simple to measure. You're always probably going to be starting at a baseline of 0. You're starting with 0 activity, and you're looking for X activity. Start something with a baseline of 0 and track the efficacy of that. You can use something like Hootsuite. Facebook analytics are simple and clear and easy and automated, but if you're doing something, track the success of it. And what I will share with you is, in this space where we are all super busy and taking on something like social or taking on disseminating a communication strategy can be challenging, you want to make sure that if something is failing, you kill it fast. And if something is really successful, you double down on that effort and you do it more and more and more. So don't be shy, be surgical. This doesn't work, kill it. This works, let's double down on it.
Absolutely. Oh. Okay.
Well, I
think
told you
we've
15
covered
minutes
everything.
was so brief to cover such a huge amount of
That went
content.
fast.
So hopefully we at least gave you a couple of pearls to take away. I'm very grateful for getting to know you and the time we spent together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys we have our emails up here on the screen. Feel free to contact us after the conference if you have any questions or just want to brainstorm how to get started. We're happy to help.
Absolutely. We're one community. So tap into us if there's any questions you have. Welcome to it.